Tonight, ABC Action News reporter Michael Paluska is giving us an exclusive look at the race to save a man's vision and potentially his life from a pork tapeworm. And we want to warn you, these images are graphic.
I see like a little black dot, and it's only on the left eye. So I see something moving from left to right.
This parasite swam through Sam Cordero's bloodstream from his stomach into his eye.
It came through the artery to vein, circulation, and it grew in here. See it right there? There's nothing that looks like this that's not this.
Cordero says he ate undercooked pork around Christmas. Months later, he started seeing black dots in his vision. That was the worm settling into his eye.
So it's just swimming around in all of that water in the eye.
Yep.
And it can't get out.
And it can't get out. It wants to, And sooner or later, it'll run out of food.
If the parasite dies, the inflammation could blind Cordero. If it lays some of its 50,000 eggs, they could travel to his brain and begin eating it, turning it basically into Swiss cheese. Thankfully, that didn't happen.
Very lucky, very lucky. If it's in the brain, he would present with seizures. Here it is, right in the middle.
Dr. Don Perez at Tampa General performed the delicate surgery to remove the tapeworm.
You have to tickle it with light from one side and have the cutter ready so when it shoots into the when it shoots into the cutter from the light, you can actually aspirate it and kill it.
Perez says he took out 3 millimeters of worm that was fertilized with those tens of thousands of eggs. Perez says there are roughly 20 documented cases worldwide of pork tapeworms in human eyes. This is his second case.
His once perfect vision ruined by a spot in his eye that just wouldn't go away.
We were with him in 2012 when he successfully removed the same pork worm from another patient's eye.
I've been hit with lightning because you seldom see this.
Perez says this tapeworm is also responsible for 70% of all acquired epilepsy cases, yet most of them are never traced back to the worm. There are no reported cases in Muslim countries where people do not eat pork.
Do you ever think you're going to eat pork again?
I don't think so. That's one of the changes that I'm going to make in my life.
Shalom, shalom. YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM, QADASH. Dwell understood the elders and apostles, a great millstone to teach them well. Peace and salutations be told for the elect. Brother Tazam Gabar coming at you from the Prophets in Babylon camp here in Tampa, Florida. Alright, this lesson is going to be going into this pork tapeworm, because this video shows this guy getting a pork tapeworm in his eye, and he was losing his vision because of it. The pork tapeworm was moving right to left in his eyeball, and it was getting ready to hatch millions of eggs in his eye. Once that happens, it's over for him. Once those eggs were to hatch, they would have moved to his brain and destroyed his brain. They would have first destroyed his vision, but then they would have went straight to his brain and ate his brain up, man. Then he would have been beyond repair. It would have been over for him. But they said it started off as a spot in his eye that wouldn't go away. They asked him in the end of the video, would you ever eat pork again? He said, I don't think I'm ever going to eat pork again. Well, I kid you not, this nigga finna leave there and go eat pork again. What does it take for a man to stop doing the things that the Lord told him to stop doing already? It takes you to get to a near life and death, to a near death experience, for you to get right, for you to start reading the scriptures and following the commandments, which are life. Is that what it takes? Because this guy had to go through all of that, go through surgery and all that. No telling how much he had to pay. Because he wanted to live an unhealthy life. And you see the man's size. He's huge in size. He's big in size. He's up there in size. So that just goes to show you that he hasn't really had healthy habits his entire life. But Isaiah 66:17 says, they that sanctify themselves and purify themselves in the gardens behind one tree in the midst, eating swine's flesh, and the abomination and the mouse shall be consumed together, saith the Lord YAHAWASHI. So you see that the Lord is not with that stuff. If the Lord said it's unclean, and you eat it anyway, and this shit like this happens to you, then that's proof that the Lord was correct when he said it was unclean. He said it's an abomination for you to eat. Do not eat it. There is reasons the Lord said to not eat it. You eat an undercooked pork, okay, whatever. But the pork is still bad for you. He probably just going to try to cook it at the right temperature now. I'll never eat pork again. That's a lie. He lied straight through his fucking teeth. He probably had a fucking hot dog on the way home and then a pepperoni pizza when he got home. But you can see that these scriptures do not lie. The Lord said don't eat these things for good reason. He said he ate it on around Christmas time. So not only was he celebrating, not only was he eating fucking abomination in the sight of the Lord, but he was also celebrating idols in the sight of the Lord. You know? So it makes you think the Lord gonna be with this man. If he doing everything against the Lord, eventually it's going to start to catch up with you. Eventually your vessel is going to start to reject you. It's going to begin to reject the spirit, and you're going to end up giving up, yielding up the ghost, because you couldn't keep the vessel and the temple holy, you know? It's the book of Leviticus chapter 11 verse 7. And the swine, though he divide the hoof and be cloven-footed, yet he cheweth not the cud, he is unclean to you. Deuteronomy 14:8 says, And the swine, because it divideth the hoof, yet cheweth not the cud, it is unclean unto you. Ye shall not eat of their flesh, nor touch their dead carcass. There's videos of these damn pigs eating dead bodies. You know, eating the organs of a dead dog, eating the organs of dead and deceased things. A pig will eat anything, you know. Whatever you throw at them, they're going to eat it. They're like, the Lord created them to be the trash cans of the earth. They clean up the earth. Just like you got trash cans of the sea, the shrimp, you know, these damn lobsters, there's crabs, whatever it may be, oysters. All these things clean out the sea. They're bottom feeders. What does it mean to be a bottom feeder? They feed off of shit. They eat the shit that drops to the bottom of the sea. They eat the deceased that drops to the bottom of the sea to keep the sea clean. The Lord has created everything in balance. Everything has a perfect balance to it, but these damn people are eating these damn people are eating the maintenance cleaners, the maintenance workers of the earth. If you have a job and you have no maintenance workers, that job is going to be completely dirty all the time. I remember I used to work at this damn basketball stadium for a college a while ago, and I was a maintenance man. And after, you would have to, pretty much after the basketball games, you would have to clean out the stadiums and the court, all that stuff. If the job of a maintenance man never existed, who's going to clean that shit up? And the next time you come, it's going to be less people. The next time it's going to be less people because it's going to be so crowded with trash. I think you're going to get bad reviews, bad reports. Oh, I can't sit here and watch a game. It's not even clean. There's trash still sitting in the seat that I was supposed to be sitting in. Or these restaurants, you know. You got to clean that shit up, or guess what? People going to be eating on dirty tables, and it's going to be unsanitary. People going to get sick. You know, this is why there's a balance to the earth. This is why there's these this is why there's unclean animals and clean animals. The Lord said he gives you animals that you can eat and animals that you cannot eat, because these animals work for the Lord. They're servants of the Lord as well, man. They serve the Lord by cleaning the earth. They do their job. They do what they're created to do. But these damn wicked ass people who iniquity is increasing in, they're fraying from their jobs. They're straying away from their jobs as a human, as a person, and going off into eating, you know, the things that clean the earth. Defiling themselves, you know, destroying themselves, man. It says, in the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 15, and verse 13, the Lord hateth all abomination, and they that fear the Lord, YAHAWASHI, love it not. So the Lord hates that shit. You be doing that sick shit, all right? He hates it. But if you fear the Lord, you won't be doing that stuff. But these people have no fear of the Lord, YAHAWASHI, so they do the things contrary to what he told them not to do, you know? Or it's like they do the things contrary to what he told them to do. So they're breaking the laws constantly. They're knocking everything out of balance. Everything is out of course because the people walk on in darkness, like as stated in Psalms, the book of Psalms. He himself made man from the beginning and left him the counsel of his Salakia. He himself made man from the beginning and left him in the hand of his counsel. So he gave these scriptures as guidance to us from the beginning. What to do, what not to do to live a good life. So that you know how to live on earth. Jake went off blatantly. As soon as Jake get the instructions, they're going off. If thou wilt to keep the commandments and to perform acceptable faithfulness. So the commandments, why are they telling you to keep the commandments? Because it's for your own benefit. First and foremost, the man that can't care for the body which the Lord had given him is unthankful unto life. You know, Second Ezra tell you they were unthankful to him that prepared life for them. Because of what? They weren't keeping the commandments. They were blatantly going off against the commandments. And the Lord had to punish their ass for it, man. You know, the Lord gave a certain order in the earth. And Jake just went completely against the order. Now you see Jake getting fucked up. These people getting fucked up for breaking the laws, statutes, and commandments. And then they want to seek the Lord once they were proven wrong. You know? These people have an actual vendetta to go against the scriptures and think that they can live a good life that way. Well, you're going to find out in the end that it was, you know, your life is shit. And hellfire. Scripture say the end of the wicked, the end of the ungodly is fire and worms. All right? But with that, I want to give all glory, honor, and praises unto YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM, BAHASHAM, QADASH, and I truly hope this quick was edifying to your acumen, to listen to truth and sincerity. So next time, Mr. I do say shalom.